T. T stands for trust. You really can't build intimacy, because intimacy is like having a large dependence on another person. So you can't build it without trust. In a lot of homes, trust has been broken, or trust does not exist. So it is totally impossible to build that intimacy without trust. I told you guys, I told them one of the sessions we had earlier, that I counseled someone that said he must never allow his wife know, or his wife to be, they were never married, his wife to be, to know how much he earns. All right, he said he will never allow it, that it will cause see finish and other things like that. And I'm saying, look, if you are intimidated, if you are trying to build a marriage on falsehood, on deceit, on hiding things, it will not work, because trust is one of the pillars that you can't do without in your marriage. So, all right, it's important to build trust. You can't, if I lean on you and you move and I fall, it's going to be difficult for me to lean on you again. All right, and that's what's happening in a lot of homes, because trust has been broken and trust has not been rebuilt. In case you are here and trust has ever been broken, you need to consciously rebuild it. Don't just think it will go away. It will take time to rebuild it and to let that trust come back. So trust is a very vital thing. Do you trust each other? All right? If you are, let me say this way, there are two ways you can build trust, especially if you have broken it before. There are two ways you can build it. Number one is by transparency. Transparency. So remember, they said they were both naked, the man and his wife, and they were not ashamed. Transparency. If you are not ready to be naked,
you guys are learning. Let's watch and learn. Let's
you can't keep hiding things and want to build trust. The whole idea of trust is that you are naked and not ashamed. Open. So if you are here and you are passwording phone, you have buried trust. Trust is in the mortuary or in the cemetery. If you are passwording your phone, what possibly can you be hiding? You see, that is a breach of trust. He said they were both naked. I didn't write that. He said they were both naked, the man and his wife. There's a reason they said that. It means they had nothing to hide. They were willing to expose themselves, hiding things like your phone, hiding money, hiding emails, hiding stuff. It's a proof that there is no trust. You can't build real intimacy without transparency. You can't build intimacy without transparency. So, hey, let your spouse know your password. Let your spouse have access to your accounts. Let them know what is going on in your life. Hiding things will never build intimacy. Number two way you build trust is by integrity. That is keeping your word. All right? If you say you are going to so and so place, let that be where you are. Every time you break your word, you break trust. And it makes it more difficult. So make sure you keep your word. If you say, I will never do this again, or I'm going to do this, let it be that you keep your word. All right? Building trust. There's something about having somebody you can totally trust with your life. There's something about it. Having somebody on the earth that you can be 100% naked with and not be ashamed. All right? So that's the third thing. Trust is part of how you build intimacy.
The next one is I, which is interest. If you're going to build intimacy, one of the things you must do is get involved in each other's interests. It's one of the easiest ways to build friendship. And we all know by now that the real work in marriage is maintaining your friendship. It's really friendship. It's not the sex. It's not the bills we pay together. It's not even the children that we're raising together. It is the friendship. Making sure that you guys are enjoying being together. That's the real work of marriage. So you have to be interested in each other's interests. You have to enjoy each other's interests. You have to do something that you both enjoy. Okay? The interesting thing is that there may be times that you have to make sacrifices. So I will give you examples. When I first got married, even though he still teases me about it till tomorrow, he says I deceived him. I did not. But my husband is very different from me. He's extroverted, and he likes dangerous things, for lack of a better way to explain it. So he wants to go bungee jumping, he wants to go skydiving, he wants to go on fastest roller coaster in the world. He wants to, all those kind of things are the things that he finds interesting. Now, I'm normally, like I explained yesterday, I'm the kind of person, that's if you were around yesterday, I'm the kind of person who wants to be in my house and not have anyone with me in my house. I always planned to be the kind of pastor who nobody knew where I lived. That was my plan and my dream and my goal in this marriage. However, I'm married to somebody that I have to submit to, so it didn't quite pan out the way I planned. So he's very extroverted. He likes those kind of adventurous things, and I'm not like that. And I knew that if I was going to say, I'm not the way he is, so he should face his interests, I'll face mine, our intimacy would be, in fact, we would have no intimacy. Because one of the ways you build intimacy is to find something that both of you enjoy doing and keep at it. That's the way you build intimacy. So at the beginning, he rides power bikes as well. He likes, so basically very adventurous. And I'm not. I just, give me a good book, I'm okay, my house. So my husband would just wake up, and he's a night person, I'm not. So 9 p.m., literally, I've shut down. Anything you're telling me after 9 o'clock is at your own risk. He would say at 11, my husband would tap me and say, let's go and buy ice cream on the island. I would say at this time of night, we'll just blow bike. We'll just take a spin. And at the time, we didn't have kids. So that was one of the things that really helped us build intimacy. We didn't have kids. I didn't have anybody to worry about, just two of us. So I just grabbed my helmet and just get on the bike. And I found out that doing those things with him was making him so happy. And he really wanted to spend time with me. He didn't have to go and look for the guys. He wanted to go bike riding, he would call me. Even when he likes football as well, he's a serious card-carrying Man City fan.
I'm learning from it. I hope you guys are learning.
All the latest jerseys, everything, like, if you want to make Pastor K happy, live matches. So even then, I'd be pregnant, big tummy, I would have to go to the stadium abroad just to go and watch it. Just to go and watch. And we'll be walking around, and he's really excited. So, is this where Aguero's dressing this thing is? Is this where? And I'll just feel him about, like, and they'll be telling me, And I found out that it kind of made us closer, because if he wants to gist about the things he's interested in, he will gist with me about them. And interestingly, I like very boring things. So for instance, I'm a Christmas movie kind of girl. You know those movies that you watch and anywhere you meet it, you understand it. Nobody's dead. Nobody's unhappy. Nothing. Everybody's happy. And we know the storyline. We know this person, we meet this person, we fall in love with this person. Then they will upset the person. We know. But we are still okay watching it. And initially, he didn't understand. So he would just come and find me and say, nobody has died. I say, no. I say, and no, and nobody will die. He say, they never shoot anybody. No. He will go, he will come back. So what has happened? I say, nothing, no, they're just... But after a while, he found out that he had to... Now he watches them sometimes. And I know that he's not really watching it, but he's just there with me. And that's enough for me. That those things make us closer. So he's watching some series with me. And he will ask me, oh, did this person, so what happened with this person? And I'm telling him, and he's going, I know he's not really listening. But the fact that he's interested in what I'm interested in has warmed my heart towards him and has made us closer. So we always have things to talk about because we enjoy the same things. We enjoy movies. So when we go date nights and things like that, we do things that we both enjoy, we're both interested in. And I had to learn some of them. I normally wouldn't go bike riding, but I've gone bike riding with him all the way to, what's that place? Hafit Mountains. Now, don't do this at home. If you are not adventurous, don't do it. It's so crazy that mountain is so thin that if you're on the bike, you have to bank. Like you have to literally almost touch the ground to pass. And it's only one person that can pass at a time. And when he was doing this, I was just asking myself, I said, God, how did I get here? But he was so happy. And then after that, he was even bragging to his friends that, my wife, anything, she's the coolest. Like, I was praying in tongues all the way. I'm praying in tongues all the way back and just saying, Lord, let's just survive it. Let's just survive it. I don't know if I'll do this again, but let's survive it. And I mean, I can share a million stories. When we went to Abu Dhabi, what's the name of Ferrari World in Abu Dhabi, fastest roller coaster in the world. Those kind of things are the things he enjoys. And so imagine him doing it with his guys and I'm not there. It won't be the same. As today, we still have stories we gist about. And I tease him about how he was always excited to do those things. But when he gets on it, it's a different story. So we have things we talk about because we have the same interest. So if you want to build intimacy, then focus on what each person enjoys and work on finding things you can do together.
Next one is M, because she has not been going back with me of late. Because she says she has children now, so she can't do all those risky things.
We have children now. Somebody has to stay alive for them.
People confuse happy and better. They are not always the same thing. They are different. So this is how you manage your emotions, by realizing what is better, what will make me better. Since I've been going to school, I've never felt like writing an exam. Never. Never felt like it. Did I open my own school, Pastor Oche? It will be the first examless school in the world. Just resume. When we are tired, we all go and rest from playing. And we come again after 2 months to resume. The first examless school, only that it will produce the most useless people ever. Because we will not be good at what we do. Is somebody getting what I'm saying? We don't feel like writing an exam. We don't feel like going to work. You see, Pastor, when it comes to emotions, we have mastered how to control it as regards every other thing except marriage. Because we know how to go to work when we don't feel like. We know how to take the children to school when we don't feel like. We are good at mastering it in every other area, but when it comes to your spouse, somehow you just feel, no, I'm not going to make the sacrifice in this area. I'm going to do what I feel like. Every other area of your life, you do what is right in spite of how you feel. If you have to go to work, and you wake up and you don't feel like going to work, why are you still on the bed saying, oh, I don't feel like going to work today? Your body's in the bathroom, having his bath. Say, we don't be there on the bed. Me, I've gone. You see, because you have mastered the art. You know that even though you feel like this, you don't have to obey it. You still need to do what's right. But when it comes to marriage, we've developed the art of just doing what we feel. And that is what's destroying marriages. You won't always feel like being kind. You won't always feel like being respectful. But as a woman, when you learn that respect is a major thing for your husband, in spite of how you feel, you will still maintain the respect. You as a man, when you don't feel emotional, we'll talk about that a bit tomorrow. Because as a man, you need to understand how emotional, every man is emotional. Just like your emotions is in one cubicle. The way we have this sound booth, that's how we have emotions in one booth, in a man's brain. I'll show you diagrams tomorrow and all that if you have time. Men need to now learn how to go and let that emotions out. It's there. Most women complain that their husbands are not emotionally available. Because naturally, emotions doesn't come to us. The way a woman's brain is wired is not the same way a man's brain is wired. A woman's brain has emotion all through it. A man's brain has emotion only in 1 or 2 spots. This means a man can do many things without being emotional. This is why a man can even have sex without being emotional. He can do marriage without being emotional. But for a woman, everything she does is going to be emotional. Because emotions are all over her brain. That's why a woman can turn something that is totally not emotional, make it emotional. She can be changing tire and be crying. You say, well, how does this relate to? I don't know. The tire just break down here. Because emotions, I'll show you diagram. I'm not making it up. It's scientifically proven. All right. So you need to understand that I might not feel emotional at this point. I don't feel like telling my wife I love you, but I can unlock the emotions and let it express when I'm saying I love you. Is somebody get what I'm saying? So the key is that you must master how you manage your emotions. There are 3 things you can do to manage it. There are more than 3, but because of time, I'm going to mention 3. Number 1, way to manage your emotions is getting truth like you are getting today. Truth helps you to manage your emotions. Because the more you hear the truth, you learn. I wasn't emotionally available to my wife at the beginning. Trust me. The first 1 or 2 years of my marriage, I was a man's man. Like you heard all the things she said. I ride motorbikes. I love football. I go to Etihad Stadium. I'm not a fan from Nigeria type. I go and watch match. I travel to go and watch matches. Even to other cities, apart from Manchester. I go to other cities. So I'm committed. They send me birthday card every year. I'm committed member. I'm just trying to tell you I'm a man's man. I ride fast cars. I have a convertible fast car that I drive, I'm everything men like to do. I'm just trying to show you. I used to carry a pistol from secondary school. I'm a rugged man's man. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when I got married, I'm totally emotional. Because for men, marriage is very practical. It's not an emotional relationship. I need money. She will not start needing you. But first, she first loves you. And you think this is going to be forever. No, she will soon need you. But men from beginning start from needing you. Then eventually they start loving you. So when I first got married, I was very serious. If she's crying, I said, why are you crying? How does crying solve? Because this is how men think. We're not emotionally available. Most men can't handle when a woman is crying. You're crying. How does crying now solve this problem? We're pragmatic. But you see, as a man, when you're dealing with a woman, you must bring the balance. If she's crying, you must know what to do about her crying first before you do something practical about it. If she's talking to you, she's not asking for a solution. She's talking for affection. But most men cut her short and try to solve the problem. No, she can solve the problem by herself. But she needs somebody to talk to process what is going on. Is somebody get what I'm saying? So for the first few years, I wasn't emotionally available. Hallelujah, thank you. We'll deal with that in totality tomorrow to see the difference. I wasn't emotionally available. Even though I was a relationship coach and all that, but I'm a man's man. The way men treat things, not the way women treat things. So I have to start learning by knowledge like this. Start learning that, in cases like this, I need to quickly go to my booth where the emotion is and go and let it out. If you don't do that, you'll be the meanest husband ever. Yes. You'll be the meanest husband ever. You'll be the most unavailable, emotionally unavailable husband ever. Because to you are very pragmatic. That's not how the world of women are. Men and women are so different. I don't even know how God on earth expected us to even live together. We are 2 different creatures. We're not even the same creatures. It's like lion and antelope married or elephant. They're not even the same creatures at all. Do you understand? There's practically nothing we have in common. Praise God. So I had to learn how to unleash my emotions. So number one is knowledge. Number two is perspective. Perspective helps you control your emotion. You know, there are many things you think you can't take. When people break a marriage, what they're saying is, I can't take it anymore. It's a lie. There's everything you can take. Like, for instance, when people beat their wife, hit their wife physically, or insult their wife, it's not that they lack control. It's perspective they lack. Because if a policeman does the same thing your wife has done, you will not slap him. Especially if it's those outside policemen that don't hear English very well and that are armed. You will not slap him. He will shoot you first before he asks you, who are you? Do you understand? So those men have self-control when they need to have it. But when it comes to their wife, they think they don't need to have it. It's perspective you need. The moment you have better perspective, you find out that the things you think you can't take, things you think you can't do, you can do it. Most times, Pastor, this is why you realize that most spouses are great lovers to their kids. The things they need to do to their spouse that they struggle to do, they do it willingly for their kids. So it's not that you lack ability. It's willingness you usually lack. Most parents will go to any length for their kids. I've seen couples that want to divorce, but also want to love their kids unconditionally. So you have capacity to love unconditionally. My wife always says, don't try to train your husband and love your children. Instead, train your children and love your husband. All right? We'll talk about those ones tomorrow. But the point is that perspective. If you can have a better perspective of why your husband or wife is acting the way they are doing, you'll be able to adjust your emotions. Your emotions are directly connected to your thoughts. Once you have a better perspective, you will feel differently. I said it earlier today, that if I do like this to a Nigerian, he sees it as an insult, and he will insult me back and say, waka to God punish you. Because we have been programmed to think this is bad. If I do this to a white man, he too will do like this on me, say hi. Hi. He will think it's greeting. He makes no meaning of it. Why is he not feeling angry? He's not feeling angry because there's nothing registering in his thoughts. Your emotions are controlled by your thoughts. So if you can change your thought pattern, you find that the feelings you have can be changed. All this, I can't take it anymore. You find that you can take it. So, Pastor, I went to Dubai for something. So it was Champions League season. So I went from my hotel to go and watch a match, in the viewing center in Dubai. So the match ended. Dubai is 3 hours ahead of Nigeria. So the match ended like 10 p.m. Nigerian time, which is like 1 a.m. Dubai time. So when it ended, I had to take a cab back to the hotel where my wife was. So I entered the cab, I sat in front with the taxi driver, and the guy was chewing gum. It's the most irritating thing ever, Pastor, you can ever imagine. He was chewing gum loudly and shaking his head. It was very irritating. I thought this guy would soon stop because I'm in the car now. He didn't stop. I said he would stop in the next few minutes. He didn't stop. After a while, I couldn't take it anymore. I just burst out and said, what kind of behavior is this? The motivational speaker in me came out. You can't take your passengers and take them through this. It's not ethical. It's not professional. It's not good customer. I was giving motivational speech. And scolding the guy that you can't be doing chewing gum that loudly in the cab. And when I finished talking, you know what the guy said? The guy said he's usually on night shift like this, which starts around 12 midnight to early in the morning. And this means that he usually sleeps in the daytime. But on this particular day, he could not sleep. So as he's driving me now, he's sleepy. That's why he's chewing the gum. I said, start to chew now. Loudly chew, let me hear you. If you have given me, I will chew with you. We will chew together till we get to where we're going. I'm not planning to die today. Chew this gum, my friend. My emotions suddenly changed. Same thing that was irritating me began to excite me. Because I knew it was saving my life. That's how flaky your emotions are. The moment your perspective changes, you find that your feelings can change. Never subject yourself to your feelings. Never do it. All right? So, the key to intimacy is managing your emotions. So sometimes your spouse will offend you. Instead of letting that be the beginning of malice, let it go. You will address it later. Patience. Later, when everything is fine. Do your best not to cause those breakages. Those breakages actually slow down the intimacy process because every time you break, you have to restart to build again. So sometimes you need to learn to forgive. Let go of something. Don't always hold, you offend me, I must hold it until we talk. Women do that a lot. Because in the mind of women, they must address everything. I will explain this again tomorrow. A woman's mind has a way it works, different from a man's mind. Men can compartmentalize. This means everything is in a different box, like I told you, in a man's life. What is going through in the office is in a box. What is going through with business is in the box. Everything is separate. A woman's mind is one big box. Everything is inside the box. And they are constantly moving around. So if you offend her, it's difficult for her to put it anywhere. It is hovering in her mind 24 hours, 7 days a week. She needs to address it. That's why you manage your emotions. You calm down till the atmosphere is right. You want to address it now. Left to the man, he wants to push it away. Men don't have any space for memory in their mind. Women have very large space. This is why a woman can remember something you did to her many years ago. She has storage. Men don't have storage. So that's why a man's favorite word is let's move on. It's not because he's nice. He has nowhere to store this problem. So he will just say let's move on. Nowhere to store it. But a woman has storage. Big one. So everything you have ever done to her, sir, even though she has forgiven you, is still alive and well inside that bag. You must always distract her because anytime you don't distract her, if she goes to that box, she will talk about both today's own and because they are all in the same box, hovering around. So it's impossible for her to go to that box and not see all the things we've ever done. That's why sometimes I talk to the woman, you don't know whether she's talking about the past or present or future because they are all the same. They are all the same, all right? So you must, as a woman, manage your emotions. As a man, you too need to manage your emotions. There are times you don't want to be emotional. There are times you don't want to be soft. But if you're going to deal with a woman, you must learn to open that box and become emotional and read her. Something happened when we traveled to Asaba to preach, House of Rock Asaba to preach. And my wife is careful with every other thing except her AirPods. You know these Apple AirPods? I've bought her about 4 or 5. Okay, 3. 3 or 4. Are you sure it's no more than 3?
3, no. In fact, it's 2. Someone else
No.
has 1.
Okay, well you bought 3 times.
I bought 3
But she misplaces always places her AirPods. She always misplaces. So the last one she has actually sent somebody that brought to buy it and they wrote her name on it, everything. Because she always misplaces it. But this one I was hoping she, because I bought it specially, wrote her name, her middle name and everything in it. So we got to Asaba and she began to look for it. She began to look for it. I was just saying, She began to search, call PA, call everybody, what's going on? Call Epis, what's going on? I said, if you lost this thing. And in my mind, I wanted to say, why are you? Because natural reaction. You see, that's what I feel like doing at the time. Say, why are you so careless with these AirPods? I mean, it was here. I wanted to say it. I'm teaching you how to manage your emotions. I wanted to say it, and the Holy Ghost just kept telling me, don't say it. Later, interestingly, the next day, she picked up the bedsheet and she found it on the bed. AirPods on the bed. And she said, I know you wanted to tell me that yesterday, that I'm always careless with these AirPods. She said, if you had, because she was already frustrated that yesterday. That other day, said, if you had said it, I would have cried. You see, the Holy Spirit knew that if I had said it, she would have cried. The Holy Spirit helped me to avert all that drama. Because again, when she started crying, it's on that different drama. So the Holy Ghost, just by saying, don't say what you feel like saying. You know what causes the problem in most marriages? People are saying what they feel like saying. You want to talk, and the Holy Ghost says, don't rebuke him. Don't correct him. Don't answer him. Don't reply him. But you say, no, I must reply. And when you reply, there's explosion and fire catch everywhere. All right, go ahead.
Okay, in fact, a good rule of thumb for what you said about not saying what you feel like saying is to always ask yourself, this thing I want to say, does it have to be said? And then even if I have to say it, does it have to be said now? You know, that will save your marriage. So many things are causing problems. If you ask yourself, before you open your mouth, just ask yourself, this thing, should I even say it? And even if I want to say it, should I say it now? It will save your marriage. And even the way
to say it.
Yes.
Because you might make the same point. Part of the under rules of managing your emotion is to practice the pause. Like I said, I don't have time to go into all how to manage emotion, but under thing is managing the pause. You must always have the pause. If you pause for anything you want to say, you will say it better. Check every time you've replied suddenly. You always regret all the things you said. If you can just pause for a few minutes, your brain will settle down to rephrase the same point, but you say it in a better way. But if you say it at the spur of the moment, you usually will say it in a hurtful way. And for men especially, the thing you tell your wife, be careful, you have a right to remain silent. For anything you say will be used against you throughout this marriage.
Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy watching as much as I did. Thank you. Please like the video, share it out. Let's restore marriages and save some singles out there. Follow them on Facebook, on Instagram, and learn more from their platform. See you all in my next video. It's your girl Esther, aka the Honorable Esther Chronicles.